One of the big talking points this season amongst West Ham fans surrounding the club is Divin Mubuma. We're seeing a player that seems to be coming away now from the academy. He seems to be making further and further steps into more the senior team and becoming a more senior player. And look, that's fantastic. There's not much better, is there, than seeing your academy players stepping into the first team and becoming a regular. And you get the feeling that Mubuma is kind of on that path. We haven't seen this for a while, especially for strikers. I mean, it really has been a long time, and it's great to see, especially when you consider West Ham's striking options at the moment. Yes, we're starting to see a more strikerish role of Jarrod Bowen of this season, and he has delivered at times. He has really delivered. He's a great player, and you can see that he will probably get better as the seasons progress in terms of being a striker for West Ham. But of course, you've then got the other side. You've got Mikel Antonio, who just seems to be so inconsistent all the time. And although he's obviously nursing an injury at the moment, which we understand isn't too serious, I think Man United game, we're being told that he will probably that's what it's been earmarked as his return game. But he's a player that's just so inconsistent for me. He just isn't delivering, and he's not reliable enough. He's not a player that you can go, he'll score that. You know, when he goes one-on-one, you just don't know what's going to happen with him. You know, it's frustrating at times. But then all of a sudden he'll pull out a performance and that makes you go, wow, he's outstanding. You know, it's very, very difficult. And of course, Danny Ings, who's just, I've talked about him long enough, but he is not fitting at West Ham at all. Doesn't fit the system. I just, want to try and get rid of him. I think it's just not worked out. And I actually do feel for Danny Ings. But what it is, it's then highlighting this Mubuma situation as the importance of it, because we're just lacking that kind of just striker, out and out striker. As I say, Bowen, although he's kind of fitted that role and he's doing okay, he's still not an out and out striker. You wouldn't go, Jarrod Bowen leads the line every game. We know he's going to bang in the goals. He's still, for me, better suited on the right. He really is. He, as I say, we've seen moments of him leading the line up front and delivering, but ultimately he's still a winger, really, that we're sort of trying to convert into a striker. So when you look at Mubuma, you're seeing a goal scorer, a finisher, someone that can come on and make a difference. And we're seeing he's doing that in the first team as well. Not only has he done it in abundance for the academy, he's now doing it in the first team. I mean, he made the difference against Burnley. There's no two ways about it. I really do think he was a key cog in that. He just creates problems for defenders. He's fast, he's powerful. You can see he's a born striker. So the big question is over his contract, because that's something that seems to be looming and it causing a few issues and a few concerns, and bloody rightly so, because this is not another player. We do not want to see another academy player lead this football club. Divin Mubuma as well is a West Ham fan. He's an East End boy. He is a kid that's been at the club now since he was 8 years old. So he's 19 now? Do you know what I mean? So a long time at West Ham. So for that side of it, there should be we shouldn't have to sell him West Ham. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to sell for. You shouldn't have to sell West Ham. Do you know what I mean? It's his dream to play for this football club. The frustration he's experiencing, as we understand it, is that he wants to see a route to the first team. Now, the news came out not so long ago that the player and his camp had rejected West Ham's offer of a new contract, which was, as we understand it, quite a good offer. The club feel it was a very, very good offer. We've got a little bit more detail on that offer. I don't think we're going to talk about numbers. I don't think that's really fair, but we can sort of give a bit of an indication of roughly what we're talking about. But it's a good offer from West Ham, and now he's rejected it. So when he rejected it, understandably, massive concern amongst West Ham fans, certainly myself. You think, oh God, here we go again. We're going to lose another academy player that you get excited about and think we've got a bright future. I just do not want to see it. It's just not a good advert, is it, for West Ham? We can't even hang on to our own players that are doing well. And also bearing in mind the quality we've got in that academy at the moment that are pushing for the first team. I mean, there's just some real talented individuals. You've got obviously Lewis Alford, you've got Earthy. We've got so many, haven't we? Some real talent coming through. Ollie Scholes, of course, and Callum Marshall, which we're going to do a video a little bit about him as well this week. Some really, really positive news of him, which is good, which seems to be coming out, which is great. But at the moment, let's just focus on Mubuma. Now, as I said, it was, when we heard the rejection, it was concerning, worrying. You do think to yourself, well, where's this going? Are we honestly going to let a striker that's been smashing the goals in throughout his time at West Ham. He's now coming through to the first team. He's now not going to sign a deal. He's now going to leave. But we're getting positive updates. We're hearing better news now. So we've had an update from Mr. ExWHUEmployee, which is good on the situation. So this is what he said. He went, Mubuma talks are ongoing. Regarding a new deal are ongoing. Both parties want a positive conclusion. And although the offer was rejected, it's understood that rejection is seen as part and parcel of the negotiation process. Of course it is. I mean, of course it is. The offer, though, as we understand it, that he was offered, that's on the table, is something that's in line with the Reece-Oxford deal. That's what X has reported. It also is in line with a second deal that Declan Rice had at the club. So it's not as if West Ham have put down a measly offer to the player in terms of finance. Now, we also know that Mubuma, I don't think, is money driven. Although I think they want a decent deal. Of course you would. You're not going to not want a decent package. But ultimately, his aim and drive is to see a route to the first team. This is really putting pressure on David Moyes because he's got to start showing him that. I think that he is. I think the fact that he came on against Burnley, I think that the fact that he started in Europe, I think is an indication there. But I can understand the player's frustration in terms of Danny Ings keep getting there, sort of looking ahead of him when, you know, you can clearly see that Mubuma offers more. Forget bloody age. I'm tired of the age thing with David Moyes and this constant where he's young. Yeah, but, you know, bloody hell, like, you've got to start somewhere. We've seen players that have started young. We saw Declan Rice come on as a kid and look how well he's gone on to do. So to get the more experience, David, you need to be playing them. So I can understand it, but it does appear that the talks are progressing well at the moment. They do seem that, and the fact that they want a deal is very good. The deal also, as well, as we understand it, his wages will increase with appearances and milestones, etc. So I think that what we've got is a very, very lucrative deal on the table for Divin Mubuma. And as we understand it, it doesn't sound like it's miles away from being agreed. This is really, really positive because we do not want to lose him at all. I mean, we really don't. We want to show these players that this is the club for you. Also, we don't want, look at what we've just seen with Declan Rice. Yes, we've just sold him. I don't like keep talking about bloody Declan Rice, to be honest with you. I'm getting sick and tired of it. But look at what he's done. He's come through the academy. We've just sold him for over £100 million. We had a world-class midfielder there. And there's nothing to say that we won't have that with Divin Mubuma, that we won't develop into a top draw Premier League or European striker. I mean, you're talking a real opportunity for West Ham. And we've got a few more of these players as well. We do not want to lose these players. We cannot afford to let this crop leave West Ham. And despite the rejection, despite the uncertainty and frustration amongst the player in not wanting to sign and getting a bit concerned about his route to the first team, it does appear, thank God, that talks are progressing well. And hopefully soon we'll get a deal over the line.